Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to talk about why quantum physics is consistent with objectivist metaphysics. A lot of objectivists disagree with this, and a lot of quantum physicists, or I guess people who talk about quantum physics a lot, disagree with this as well. However, they necessarily are consistent with each other. Physics cannot contradict laws of reality. Physics cannot contradict A is A. Physics cannot contradict causality. Physics cannot contradict the fact that existence exists. None of these things can be contradicted. These are philosophical absolutes. These are discovered through every single observation, and other ones that aren't discovered in every single observation are discovered through induction over time. It's very basic induction. Now, a lot of people claim that quantum physics is inconsistent with objectivism because a lot of people, when they explain quantum physics, they explain it as if it's this probabilistic thing where nothing's certain, there's no certainty, everything is completely random, and there's no causality, and all these things. This is not true. This is not true about quantum physics. There's this sort of probabilistic, qualities of quantum physics because we don't have the epistemological knowledge to figure out this sort of thing. People who think that quantum physics debunks basic metaphysical truths about reality, they are conflating an epistemological uncertainty with a metaphysical uncertainty. They're conflating the fact that we don't know where a particle is with this idea that the particle doesn't exist anywhere. This is kind of exemplified by the whole, I think it's called Schrodinger's cat, I'm not sure, but it's basically the idea that if a cat is inside of a box, we don't know if it's dead or alive, so therefore it's both dead and alive. No, this is absurd. This is obviously not true, and it's obviously a terrible way to interpret physics, because you just have to look inside of the box, and you know it's either dead or alive. It can only be one of those two things. Contradiction cannot exist. This is a basic fact of philosophy. Philosophy needs to come before physics, because if you take in bad philosophical premises into science, if you take bad philosophical premises, you'll come to all sorts of crazy conclusions. And this is what happens when lay people hear about quantum mechanics a lot of the time. I would consider myself a layperson as well with regards to physics, but a lot of people, when they hear these things related to quantum physics, they take all these things and they draw these absurd conclusions that completely contradict reality. This idea of non-contradiction being debunked by quantum physics. That's not possible. You can't do that. Philosophy comes before science. And that it sort of sets the boundaries on science to an extent. I use to an extent again. That's funny. But yeah, you cannot contradict philosophy. You cannot contradict every observation that you make. You cannot contradict your basic observations of reality with physics, with more knowledge. You cannot contradict. This is the fundamental principle. You cannot contradict knowledge by obtaining more knowledge. You can expand on it. You can improve on it. You can give more context to it, but you cannot contradict our actual knowledge by gaining more of it. That's not how knowledge works. The knowledge that you still have is still true. And the basis of philosophy is still true as well. These A is A. All these things are true, regardless of an epistemological uncertainty that comes with quantum physics. Just because we cannot know a certain thing in physics, just because we can't know the specific location of a particle, does not mean that that particle is in multiple places at once. It does not mean that that particle is in two places at once or all over the place at the same time. That's a wrong interpretation of quantum mechanics. From everything that I understand about quantum mechanics, that is a wrong interpretation. I know a little bit. I watch some Veritasium videos and Vsauce videos, but my understanding of it comes. I have a layperson's understanding, but my understanding of it doesn't seem to debunk anything about objectivism. It doesn't debunk any metaphysical truths. But a lot of objectivists seem to think it does as well, and they sort of throw away the science and just because they hear all these misinterpretations of it, and they're like, if this is what quantum mechanics is, I'm dismissing this altogether. Let's just stay at Newtonian physics. This is a bad way to think about physics. Things are going to develop. We learn new things about this stuff, and when you just dismiss it altogether, you look unscientific, which is not what objectivists should be looking like, because objectivists are some of the most scientific people in the world. Like, we understand the basis for science. But when you completely dismiss Einstein's theories and the laws of reality that Einstein discovered, you don't have to accept all of his interpretations of them. That's perfectly fine. I'm sure a lot of the things that Einstein said, his interpretations were wrong. Just as Newton was an alchemist, Newton has a lot of bad beliefs as well that we seem to ignore. But the essential of Newton, obviously, is this great development in physics that he had, the invention of calculus, all these other great things. And the essential with Einstein should be all these new discoveries about reality, all these new discoveries in physics. It shouldn't be his weird interpretations of stuff that I don't understand fully, but I've heard that there's some Einstein had some bad beliefs, but largely he gave a lot to physics. He discovered a lot of good new things, and we can't just dismiss those things because some of their interpretations are opposed to our metaphysical system. No, you need to look at those interpretations through the proper metaphysical system, and you'll come to accurate conclusions. Because when you look at something through the right epistemological method and have the right metaphysical premises, you can discover more truth because of it. You can expand on Newtonian physics rather than, as a lot of people say. A lot of people say that Einsteinian physics contradicts Newtonian physics. This is not true. It simply expands upon Newtonian physics. You cannot contradict former knowledge with new knowledge. It's an expansion, and it's a better knowledge. It leads to a better knowledge and a better understanding of the universe. And we have to keep developing on these sort of things. Now, what does bother me is when people say that the universe is probabilistic according to quantum mechanics. And I mean, I don't know. The thing about quantum mechanics is a lot of people conflate epistemological uncertainty with a sort of metaphysical probabilism, or a metaphysical non-existence, I guess, or what I don't know the word I'm looking for, but they're conflating this epistemological uncertainty with something metaphysical. That's not true. The fact is, everything is what it is. All entities are what they are. A particle has a specific location. All the laws of reality are still true. We just don't know specifically where a particle's at. And also, there's the whole thing where, like, if one quark is spinning one way, and once you discover that it's spinning that way, that means that the other quark, all the way, like, millions of light years away, you know what that one is. Yeah, that's because you can know one thing because of... It's not like there's information being transferred at that rate. That's not true. That's a misinterpretation, once again. I hope I'm explaining these things well, because I don't have the greatest understanding of quantum physics. All I know, though, is that from what I do know, there's nothing that contradicts objectivist metaphysics, and it's a shame that people dismiss it, because there's a lot more to be learned in physics. There's a lot more that we have to understand, and we need good objectivists to explain how objectivist metaphysics is consistent with that, and basically set objectivist metaphysics as the metaphysics through which we view the world, through which we try to understand the quantum phenomena, because these quantum phenomena are real facts. They're real facts about reality. Now we need to interpret them the right way, and that's important. Trying to find the right interpretation, because science needs to have philosophy before it, and when we have bad philosophies like we have today, all sorts of terrible interpretations come up, and that's what we see with a lot of people's understanding of quantum physics right now. It's not a good thing. We're not in a good place scientifically because of a lot of misinterpretations, but we're still learning a lot too. There's still a lot of good things that we're learning from science. We just aren't always interpreting them as well as we should be, because A is A. Reality exists. Causality exists. We know all these things right away from every observation we have. But yeah, I think that's all I have to say for today. Thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you all in the next video. Peace.